YouTube, what's up? I hope everybody's staying well. I hope everybody's staying safe. I just came on here because I got a couple of things I want to speak to you guys about, especially around the things that I've been observing lately with how people conduct business deals or how people are going about their ambitions, chasing their passions and stuff. I want to talk about blockchain, and whatever else comes into my mind will end up being in the video. What I've noticed is, if you actually look at history, most people miss the opportunity just because they listen to other people's opinions about a new thing instead of going on and doing the little bit of homework it requires to understand something. I am very passionate about getting people, especially people in Africa, to understand the potential of blockchain technology. But I know that if I scream blockchain down your throat, you're not going to digest that. What if I tell you a technology that is going to change the way that every offline and online system in the world works? What if I say this, the technology that is going to fundamentally change the $50 trillion supply chain industry globally? Now do I have your attention? If you've been watching for a second, you've heard me get very passionate about things like NFTs and the metaverse. But what's really funny is, if you look at cryptocurrency and if you look at NFTs, those are just two applications on top of blockchain technology. If you've been watching me and you've seen me get gassed about the NFT market and how that technology is allowing access to smart contracts and all these other layers on top of the blockchain for us to access new experiences, new asset classes, NFTs, cryptocurrency, that's not even what I'm actually excited about. What I'm really excited about is blockchain. That's the underlying technology underneath these things that I'm talking about. As I've been growing up, my passion for wanting to help and build products and services in Africa mainly, that will impact African people, has just begun to skyrocket. And I never knew how I was going to be able to do that. And I got very excited not too long ago when I heard the news that El Salvador had adopted Bitcoin as a legal tender in their country. It's now a national currency and people are trading. And what that use of blockchain technology does is it allows people who didn't have access to a traditional banking system because of glass ceilings and any other systematic threshold, and it allows them to do the simple thing of sending and receiving money to be able to eat. That's what I'm actually excited about. Forget people not even having good banking solutions. People don't even have banking solutions, period. And blockchain is now allowing us to do those things. For example, there's farmers in areas like Brazil, small-scale farmers, who in the supply chain of events might have found themselves being exploited or not getting the money that they deserve. Because, for example, to get a coffee bean from a Brazilian farm or an Ethiopian farm to a Starbucks, even just the travel of one bag from the farm to a different location, that paper trail for that single movement is already pretty large. And now you have a whole record of these things that is very hard to trace back to. A lot of this stuff is still written down on paper. A lot of these farmers don't even have smartphones. So they're using the flip phones, but they've built apps and systems in those countries where you can access the blockchain through an app, and you can track from seed to plant to stitch to grain to fabric to the end product, and the person who provided the raw material is able to see how their product travels along the entire supply chain, and in that way they can be compensated equally. When you realize that the supply chain industry, like I said in the beginning, is a $50 trillion industry and it's going to be greatly disrupted by blockchain, I think that's when humans will finally begin to actually understand how big this thing is. This is more than a new technology for the elite super rich. There's actual practical use cases of blockchain today where people's lives are being impacted in a way that government hasn't been able to provide before. Many countries have followed the El Salvador lead of adopting Bitcoin as a national currency because it makes sense. The blockchain for consumers is what I'm really interested about. For example, you being able to scan a Louis Vuitton bag and it brings up a blockchain record of all the 7 different materials on the bag, all tracked down to where the raw material was processed, and it having a check mark or whatever validation system that's there to authentify that it was from Louis Vuitton. That's when it gets interesting. Because people don't care about things up until they see the convenience for themselves. The consumer blockchain is going to come along, put that in everybody's faces, and by the time that happens, the ball is going to be already rolling. What I am interested in doing is sparking up a conversation and cultivating a family of people who are executors. You don't even have to necessarily be an entrepreneur. You could be an artist. You could be somebody who just likes to make stuff. I just want to rally people who believe that there's real opportunity that can come here in providing value to people, and there's real economic upside for every party who decides that this is worth their time, because it really is. And don't ever let yourself be spooked by anybody who says, oh, you're late. You're not late. This is early AF. This is mad early. So that's just what I wanted to say. I feel like I got that off my chest. If you guys got any opinions or anything you might want to add, please drop that down in my comments. I'd really love to hear what you guys have to say. Peace out.